I'm going to show you the improvements that we're making to these Airbnbs with a very small budget to improve the revenue and profits. We got 4 units here, 4 townhomes in 2 buildings. They're basically all model matches. And the owner, we've been managing some other properties for him in town while another management company was taking care of these ones. He was kind of comparing the both of us, and at the end of the day, the other properties that we were managing, we're making about twice as much per bedroom as these ones. And among some other operational issues they didn't like, they said, all right, get in there and take care of these ones, but we're not going to give you much money. And so here's what we're doing. All right. First, occupancy and drapes. All right. So you can always increase your revenue by simply installing more beds so that you can either A, occupy more people, or B, give the people that do occupy the property more beds to sleep in. Either strategy is effective. We are essentially doing both. And we're doing it with rollaway beds predominantly because, again, our budget is very small, but rollaway beds count. You can call a rollaway bed, a foldable bed that can go in a closet, right? You can call it a bed on Airbnb and increase the bed count. You can also increase occupancy with it. Just increasing bed count is effective. Second thing we're doing, we're putting blackout curtains in all of the rooms because people are going to spend half of the time that they're at your Airbnb in bed. Look, there's one of the foldable rollaway beds we're getting put together. There's a mattress for it. Okay? So they're sleeping nice, comfortable. If they have a good time when they're sleeping, a good time. If they're comfortable when they're sleeping, if they get a good night's rest, they're much more likely to associate positive feelings with your Airbnb and leave a 5-star review, which is, at the end of the day, really the only thing that matters. All right? So drapes, beds, there's another rollaway bed in that room. So we've already increased the bed count by 2. That increases occupancy by 2, and again, gives more bed options for the whatever size group stays here. It's just a better place to sleep now, all right? Because of that, because of those curtains. Another thing we're doing is supplies, getting supplies up to par. I can tell you right now, after taking over about 100 Airbnbs at this point, maybe it's only 75. I have not come across one that had complete set of supplies. I'm talking about an additional set of linens plus toilet paper, paper towels, your coffee pods, soap and shampoo, all that stuff, because there's really no point in time that you're at 100% except when you begin. And so when we come in, there is some level of depletion of supplies, so we get those up to par so we can start with a fresh set. That's usually a few $100s right there. Another thing we had to do with these properties is we were looking at the reviews to see, okay, what are the biggest complaints? Let's start there. Again, our budget's small, so how do we use it most effectively? Let's look at the biggest thing that people are complaining about. And one thing they were complaining about are these fans. The light and the fan are remote controlled, and so when people would turn the fans, the light on for one fan, it would also turn the light on for other fans in the house because they're all the same brand. And it was a consistent complaint in the reviews. Someone would be in a bedroom and they would turn off their light and turn off their fan, turn on their fan and turn off the light. And then someone in another room, the light would go off or on when they didn't want it to because of a remote in another one. And so we thought, well, let's just replace all these fans with different brands because that's the simplest way to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And what we discovered was these fans actually have, you're gonna love this. This is great advice, pay attention. These fans have these little, you can see those 4 knobs in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, all right, in the remote. And then they also have that same up there in the housing. You take off one of those screws and drop it down. It's got those same 4 pins. That's, if you do the math, 16 possible combinations. And since there's 4 fans per unit, that's 16 fans. So all we did was reprogram the remotes. We returned the fans we bought, redeployed that to our budget. We're actually using that at another property that has more potential for revenue. So we're kind of taking a little bit of the budget from these properties to some other properties that are not a part of this video, but are part of the budget. Long story, doesn't matter here. Key points are: address the concerns that the guests are telling you that they're having. Number one thing that we're doing, fixed for free. Actually, a handyman did it, all right? Second, make it a better place to sleep, okay? Make it more comfortable, i.e. more beds, i.e. less bed sharing, i.e. you can accommodate more groups of, let's say, 8, right? Right now we had 4 beds, we just added 2 more, so now we have 6 separate bed situations as opposed to 4 or 5, right? So if you're sleeping 8 people and you only have, let's say, 4 beds, that means you got to have 4 couples, right? That's basically the demographic limit that you're at. But if you have 6 beds, now you can have 4 couples and 2 singles, okay? Or 6 singles. A house with 4 or 5 beds cannot accommodate 6 singles. So even though our occupancy may stay the same, we can now accommodate more variability in the demographics of the occupancy limits that we have. That will equal more revenue. And we're making the blackout curtains so you can sleep at any time of day and it's still dark. In other words, people are just gonna get better sleep when they're here, right? So these simple things, I know we're gonna improve revenue. I've seen it time and time again. That's what we're doing here. This is easy stuff you can do when you have low budget for improvement to Airbnb that maybe isn't making all the money it could. Hope you find that helpful.